After 8 match days, there's only 2 more games to go to find out which 6 nations will qualify to the World Cup from the AFC region. So far, we know that Iran and Japan have qualified to the World Cup, but there are 4 spots still remaining. We still got South Korea versus Iraq, Graham Arnold's debut. Uzbekistan can create history for their nation. Jordan can create history for their nation. What on earth is going to happen between Saudi Arabia and Australia? And of course, with the AFC World Cup qualifiers, we have managers that were sacked and new managers that were hired. UAE have a new manager in Cosmin Olariu. Qatar, Julian Lopetegui is in the helm. And Iraq have gone with Graham Arnold to save the sinking ship. Welcome to the preview and prediction for the June window of AFC World Cup qualifiers. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Which 4 nations will qualify to the World Cup this month? So with Group A, it's pretty self-explanatory. Iran have already qualified to the World Cup. Qatar are fighting to keep the 4th spot in this group. Kyrgyzstan, they're still in with a shot, a very minor shot to qualify to the 4th round of AFC World Cup qualifiers. North Korea are out. So then it's between Uzbekistan and the UAE. And those 2 teams meet up in the UAE in June. This is going to be blockbuster, and this could be such a historic moment for Uzbek football. All of the narrow misses of qualifying to the World Cup, the heartbreaks at the Asian Cup, it could all be forgotten if they qualify, and all they just need is a point. And Uzbekistan away from home in these AFC World Cup qualifiers, other than the, you could say, controversial match versus Qatar, they've been pretty flawless away from home. It's not always been the prettiest when it was under Katanic, but Kabatse, I think he can do a good job here. And with the UAE, it's pretty much the unknown because of Paulo Bento sacking. And I'm not so familiar with Kosmin, the new manager, Romanian. He's worked in UAE before. I don't know what his lineup is going to be like, his tactics. So if you're familiar with Kosmin, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But for him, it's about, you got to get a victory here. If the UAE, you sack Paulo Bento, right? We don't know what happened in the background or if it's results based, even though he got the victory over North Korea in the last minute. This is now critical for UAE. If they want to have any shot of qualifying to the World Cup from this round, they have to beat Uzbekistan to at least get it to the final match day. And they definitely have players that can hurt Uzbekistan. But the Uzbeks are a very organized team at the moment. They've been through this pressure moments before, and I think with a pressure moment like this, and obviously this is the biggest pressure, you can talk about club football all you want. When you do it for your national team, the pressure just increases immensely. And I think the players understand the objective here, qualifying to the World Cup. I think this game is going to end 1-1, and Uzbekistan are going to create history for their nation. Qatar and Iran, I mean, Lopetegui, I don't know what to expect from him either because his last couple of jobs haven't gone the greatest. He's familiar with national team football, but he's not familiar at all with the AFC region. They're going to need heroic performances from Akram Afif and Almoez Ali if they want to beat Iran. Yes, Iran, they didn't really call up a lot of newcomers into this team, and obviously Galanoy went for a more experienced side once again, but it should be fine against Qatar, although Qatar are going to be playing to win this game. I'm going to go with a high-scoring affair here because we know Iran's defense isn't the greatest. I'm going to go 2-2 in this matchup. North Korea, Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan away from home, diabolical. At home, Kyrgyzstan are a very good team, but they have to win this game to give themselves any hope of qualifying to the 4th round. And North Korea, we know, look at this, 7 goals, 16 conceded. I mean, they're just a very entertaining side, and this could be an entertaining game as well. Except for the one at home, it wasn't the most spectacular performances against North Korea from Kyrgyzstan. This one, let's go for 3-2 in this matchup. Because Uzbekistan are going to qualify for match day 9, I feel like they're going to heavily rotate against Qatar in the final match day, and Qatar are going to have to win that game. I feel like that's going to be either 1-1 or maybe, because Akram Afif is just the god at the moment, 2-1 Qatar. But that's about it. I could still see Uzbekistan winning that game because they're an elite team at home, but Qatar have to win it. If they lose that game and Kyrgyzstan win, Qatar might not even qualify to the final round, people. Can you imagine the scenes if that occurred? That would be ridiculous, and we will have an emergency video about that. And then Kyrgyzstan, UAE, we know Kyrgyzstan, elite team at home. It's just something about the atmosphere, the environment there in Bishkek. And the UAE, not the strongest away from home, and I don't know what to expect from Kosmin. So this result, I feel like it's going to be 1-1, or it could be even a Kyrgyzstan victory. And then Iran, North Korea, I think Iran will win this game quite comfortably, 3-0. So Group A, this is how I would see it's going down. Iran, of course, will have already qualified. Uzbekistan will join them at the World Cup. UAE And I feel like Qatar are just going to narrowly make it to the final round, but Lopetegui is under huge pressure here to get results. If he doesn't get results, I mean, heading into the final round, if Qatar do qualify to the final round, Lopetegui is under huge pressure. Group B, what to expect, people? Well, another new manager in this group, and that is Graham Arnold, is the new manager of the Iraq national team. Oman and Jordan first. I don't know why, but I feel like this is going to be like a banana peel game for Jordan. They could maybe see Oman. They're all looking towards that home game against Iraq. And we know Oman, they're not the prettiest side. They're going to keep it very low scoring, 1-0, 0-0 sort of game. And Oman can get a result here against Jordan. They went away to South Korea and got a 1-1 result. Say what you want about South Korea right now. To go away and do that is amazing result. And hosting Jordan haven't been the greatest side away from home either. This could get a little bit tricky here for Jordan. I mean, they're going to need Al-Naimat, who I checked his stats in the Qatari league. It's not great. I don't think the guy has scored since November. Al-Naimat, the baller that we all saw. Come on, Al-Naimat should be shining here in this window. Al-Tamari, Olwan, you know, guys, we know the deal with this Jordan team. Are they going to be playing a little bit more on their counterattack and allow Oman possession of the ball? We could probably be seeing that. I don't know why. I feel like this is going to be a tricky game for Jordan. And I feel like Oman are going to be very much amped for it. And I'm going to go for a 1-1 here. I think it's going to be 1-1. And it's still going to go to the final match day. But the game that we're all looking forward to in this round is Iraq and South Korea. Because Graham Arnold is the new manager after Jesus Casas sacked. I don't know what to expect from Graham Arnold. And I don't know if Iraqis know what to expect either. Because yes, he did a good job, I think, with Australia. Got them to the round of 16 of the World Cup. But constantly on this channel, I was saying the football isn't the prettiest. And I'm not expecting the football to drastically improve with the Iraqi players. So he had to do a lot of scouting, a lot of research about these players, knowing what style of play it suits them. So I think Graham Arnold is under huge pressure here. And he really shouldn't be, because final 2 match days, you're expecting drastic change of Iraq. Maybe it's looking forward to the final round, but you could still qualify for the World Cup from this round. And you're hosting South Korea. Now look, Iraq's home record in Basra is elite. Absolutely elite. And South Korea, they still haven't lost a game in this round. Obviously 4 wins and 4 draws. And I don't know what to expect from South Korea either, because they're such a hit and miss team. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, and sometimes just down the middle average. I think South Korea now having a fully fit Hwang In-beom, even though he played in the last round, he played the 80 minutes against Jordan. Now he's fully fit. He's had a lot of games with Feyenoord in the later parts of the season. And I think he's like the difference maker for this team. Obviously, Lee Kang-gin and Heung-min Son are going to get the highlights, but Hwang In-beom is an elite midfielder with his passing, reading of the game. And I think he could be a difference maker in this matchup. This is a tough one to predict because we know Iraq are under massive pressure here to get a result. And Graham Arnold is under massive pressure. And if they beat South Korea and if Jordan win, all of the top 3 teams will be separated by 1 point. Even South Korea could be under danger of not qualifying to the final round, even though I think they will. But hey, everything's on the line still for all of the top 3 teams, even the top 4 teams, if you want to go like that. Iraq and South Korea, it will end 1-1 and it goes to the final match day. And wow, what a blockbuster sort of game we're going to have in Amman. And then Kuwait and Palestine. Now, if Palestine want to have a chance of qualifying to the final round and they're still going to go toe-to-toe against Oman in the final match day, they have to win this game. Kuwait, if they want to have an opportunity of still qualifying to the final round, even though it's looking pretty dire with 5 points behind Oman, they have to win this game. You look at some of the form for the Palestinian players, club level, and of course sometimes club level doesn't translate to national team, but getting that historic victory over Iraq, I think there's momentum now. They can now build upon it. There's confidence in Abu Ali, who's been absolutely on fuego for Al Ali in Egypt, even in the CAF Champions League. I mean, him and Oday Dabbag, the form they're showing at club level, they can translate it against Kuwait, who are going to have to try and win this game. I think this is going to be a spectacular game, and Kuwait have to win it. And I think it's going to end. I really hope Palestine win, because then that final match day, Palestine versus Oman, is going to be spectacular. I'm going to go with a 1-1 though. I think Kuwait are just a very good home side and people cannot disrespect them because they've pretty much been in every single game other than the Oman result away from home where they lost 4-0. But Kuwait are an underrated team. I think this is going to be 1-1. and the hopes for Palestine to qualify to the final round are over. Also for Kuwait, they're both going to take each other out of consideration of qualifying to the final round. Then we get to the final match day. South Korea hosting Kuwait. They should be winning this game. It might be difficult. It's not going to be spectacular, but South Korea will win 2-0. Jordan and Iraq. It has come down to this match day. We all knew it when these two were drawn together that it would go to the final match day. And in Oman, Jordan, we're going to witness either history for one of these two teams. Will it be Jordan qualifying for their first ever World Cup? Will Iraq return to the World Cup for the first time in a very long time? I mean, we might have to do a watch along for this game, but it is going to be spectacular. And I don't know who's going to really dictate possession in this game, because the game in Basra was ass cheeks. That was probably the worst World Cup qualifying game I have seen from CONMEBOL, CAF, and AFC. There was nothing in that game. I think both teams were just trying to minimize opportunities and minimize trying to take risks in that matchup. Whereas this time around, Iraq know they got to win the game. If both Jordan and Iraq draw from the previous match day, then Iraq have to win the game. And Jordan just can be defensive and playing on the counterattack, which suits their style of play and the players they have. Whereas for Iraq, if they can beat South Korea and Jordan then draw with Oman, then Iraq, they can be defensive and hit teams on the counterattack. I don't know what to expect here. And I was surprised that Iraq were pretty vulnerable on the set pieces against Palestine. And that's one thing that Jordan are very strong at. Set pieces. Could that be a difference maker in this blockbuster of a match? I'm going to go with the history. And the history for me is that Jordan will qualify to their first ever World Cup. They beat Iraq 2-1. And Iraq with Graham Arnold, they're going to have to go to the final round of AFC World Cup qualifiers and then get really nervous about them qualifying to the World Cup. But I just think for Iraq, it's going to be very hostile. The atmosphere is going to be peak. And I think Jordan can get the job done. I think Al-Tamari, he will be the hero for Jordanian football. They win 2-1. It's going to be a great game though, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And then Palestine, Oman. Palestine will really have nothing to play for. And Oman, they have nothing to play for either. They'll be making it to the final round of AFC World Cup qualifiers. So I think this game is going to end actually for a victory for Palestine. I'm going to go 2-1. But Group B, I see it like this. South Korea and Jordan will qualify to the World Cup. Iraq and Oman, they qualify to the final round of AFC World Cup qualifiers. Palestine and Kuwait, they are out. Wow, Group B is going to be great. And then the final group, Group C, which has been the chaos, but we didn't get so much chaos back in March. Australia versus Japan. Now, Japan are going to be rotating a lot of players. Moriyasu called up a lot of newcomers into the national team, while for Australia, they know what they need to do. If they can win this game, and maybe Bahrain can get a result against Saudi Arabia, Australia could be qualifying to the World Cup on match day 9. That's what their objective has to be. Just win this game. Don't take it to the final match day. Maybe Moriyasu will start with a strong team against Australia and then rotate against Indonesia. So Australia, they still got to be alert. Velupale, he's got to continue his good form. I think Teague was actually a great addition into the midfield. Popovic has to just continue with the same lineup. And I know at times in March, it wasn't the greatest show on turf, as they would say, for Australia, but it gets the job done. And with Australia, it's about these changes in the national team, and it's going to take a while to blend in, get the chemistry right, and Popovic is still new on the job. I think Australia and Japan, it depends on the lineup, so it's kind of difficult to predict on this game, because if Japan just field a B team, then I would go with Australia. If Japan field their A team, I would go 1-1. And then Indonesia and China. Indonesia, they got the momentum. They beat Bahrain in a crucial game after we all clowned them after the Australia debacle in Patrick Kluivert's debut. They got the result against Bahrain. They're hosting China. Indonesia have been a very solid home side other than the Japan game, because Japan are just elite side of AFC. And I think Indonesia are huge favorites here against China. If China got a result here away in Jakarta, that would be shocking to me. I would be shocked by it, because they're dealing with injuries. Wu Lei had to just pull out from the national team again through injury. I don't really feel confident for China in this matchup. I think with Indonesia, Romney, I mean, that guy was balling out in March. I feel like he's going to continue balling out. Defensively, they are a strong team at home. I think Indonesia are going to win this game 2-0, and they might qualify to the final round on match day 9, because Bahrain and Saudi Arabia go toe-to-toe, and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia is not going to be pretty. It's going to be sort of that gritty desire, who really wants to win sort of game, because it's not going to be the spectacular football that we all want to see. I think Saudi Arabia had a good window in March. You know, away in Japan, Hervé Renard knew what he had to do. Get the point and go back to Saudi Arabia. He knew that. Home against China, it was more of a free-flowing attack, and it was really good to see, even though they only scored 1 goal in that game. Like, look, people, they have scored 4 goals in 8 games. 4 goals. Japan have scored 24 goals over Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's crazy to me. And it's not like they haven't been creating chances. They've been creating chances. They haven't been a clinical side at all, Saudi Arabia. They're going to have to be against Bahrain. And Bahrain, no, they have to win this game. It's their last home game. They're going away to China next. I think Bahrain will be a little bit more free-flowing, having to take possession of the game, trying to create chances to score the goals. And I think that will suit maybe Saudi Arabia. This game, though, very hard to predict, because Bahrain and Saudi Arabia is always a close matchup. It's never like a blowout like Saudi Arabia winning 3-4-0. No. I think this is going to be a close game, and I think it's going to end also 1-1. And it will go to the final match day between Saudi Arabia and Australia, even though Saudi Arabia will need to overturn 9-goal difference on the final match day. Japan and Indonesia, I mean, maybe both teams will rotate a lot, especially Japan, but Japan are just such an elite team. Even if they have a B team, a C team, a D team, a Z team, they should be winning this game against Indonesia. I'm going 2-0 for Japan. China and Bahrain, neither team will be having anything to play for, and I feel like this game is going to end 1-1. And then Saudi Arabia, Australia. All Australia have to do is avoid a humiliating defeat of epic proportions. And I don't think that's going to happen here. Australia, they might lose this game like 2-1 to Saudi Arabia, but they will still qualify to the final round because of the superior goal difference. So this is how it's going to go down in Group C. Japan obviously qualified. Australia will join them from this group, and then Saudi Arabia and Indonesia will go to the final round of AFC World Cup qualifiers. Bahrain and China, good luck for World Cup 2030. But there we have it, people, the final preview and predictions of a AFC third round World Cup qualifiers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which 4 nations will join Japan and Iran at the World Cup representing the AFC region? And of course, we'll be doing match reactions, talking about certain nations qualifying to the World Cup. So if you like that sort of content, remember to subscribe to the channel. Remember to hit the like button. Follow me on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram. Join the Discord. The Discord is going to be very spicy during that Jordan and Iraq game. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.